Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jonathan Coates, and in today's free training, I'm going to be showing you how to set up Google Optimize so that you can do split tests for your sales funnels for free and make data-driven decisions based off of which page performs better. So I'll show you how to do that. We're going to get into how to set up Google Optimize through Tag Manager, so we're not having to manually add code to our websites, and we're able to centralize and manage different tags on our websites. So the first thing I want to show you is this is what it looks like when you're not logged in. Basically, it just shows you how to make your website better. You're able to grow your business by optimizing your website experience and testing changes to your layout, content, and more. So basically, if you got a red button, you can test it against a page that has a yellow button instead, and which one has more people click. And so you basically just be sending 100 people to both pages. It'll be 50 people to one page and 50 people to another page, and whichever group performs in your favor, you'll go with that page, and then you'll split test again against another page. So this is just a way you can do it for free because there's a lot of marketing softwares out there that actually charge for this. So this is what it looks like. I'll leave this URL in the description here. That way you can see this page and what I'm referring to. But let's get into it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to add this Chrome extension to our browser. And once we have it added, basically all we need to do from here is sign in. So I'm going to go ahead and create a fresh account, and because I already have an optimized account, but I'm going to show you what it looks like for someone who doesn't have one. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it from Chrome and just remove it. And then I'm going to refresh the screen here, and then I'm going to add it to Chrome just to show you what it looks like here. So add extension. Then I'm going to right click it and pin it here. And then from here, I'm going to sign in. And the way you do that, you just click on it and then you click on open Google Optimize, and it'll take you to the main dashboard. So let me just drag this over here. So I created an experiment a couple days ago and I just saved it as a draft. But once you get to this page, you just want to click on where it says settings here. Just click on that. And then just take note of this ID up here. We're going to be using this and referencing it in the future. So from here, you're going to need to add your analytics property ID. Now, if you don't have one, all you really got to do is just go to Google Analytics and set it up. It's going to show up here in settings, and you just choose from the drop down. So let me show you what that looks like. Once you have your property from Google Analytics, you'll see it underneath here. And right now, I recommend choosing the UA, which stands for Universal Analytics option, just because GA4 is in beta testing right now, and they're still trying to transition and integrate everything into the new dashboard. So just choose Universal Analytics and you should be totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and just act like I picked that, but this is what it looks like. You just click on this drop down here and then choose your property. And then once you do that, you click on save. And then our next step will be to choose the view. So I'm going to exit out of here. So let me just show you real quick what it looks like to create an experience from scratch. So if you click on create an experience, all you got to do is you just name it. So in this case, I'm just going to type in example experience. And from here, my objective with the type of experience that I would like to create is an A/B split test. So I'm going to click on this one here where it says A/B test and then click on create. Now from here, we're going to need to, we can just follow these different steps here. So we create a variant. Now a variant is basically a set of pages. So you have one sample page versus another sample page. So we can add a variant in here. Really, you can name it. So I'll just leave it as variant 1 and click on done. So once we create a variant, we just move on to the next step, which is adding targeted rules. So I chose target my site visitors, but you can actually choose something else. So if you want to, you can customize and actually choose from these different options here. So you can target visitors using a specific device, geography, behavior, device categories, UTM parameters. If you have a pre-saved audience in your analytics account, you can target audiences that's used in there. But in my case, the people I want to see this experience are all visitors to the page targeted above, which is these two variants here. So in my case, as we done earlier, I've already connected analytics, but if you don't already up to this point, you just do it from here. If you click on it, it'll take you directly down there. And again, you just choose from your properties from the drop down, and I recommend choosing the universal analytics option. Now, after that, we click on setup objectives. Now, in my case, what I want is just to focus on page views. So I'm just going to click on add experiment objective, and then I can choose from a list, and they'll have these different options over here. Now, in my case, I want page views, so the average number of page views events per user in experiment, but you can track other stuff like the average number of purchase events. So how many people purchase versus the other page, the average revenue from purchase per user in experiment. So I'm just going to choose page views in this case. So I just click on page views. So you have the original and then you have variant one. So if you click on edit here, it'll actually take you to your variant and you can change different elements from here. So Optimize will actually kind of take over the website here and give you sort of a page editor style format. So what you can do is, I just want to kind of show you around real quick, but you can change different elements on here and then test and experiment what one thing looks versus another. So like for an example, and mind you, this is just for this specific variant. So this page is not something that people who come to your website will see unless they're going through this specific experiment. So you can edit the element here. Just click on edit element. You can edit the HTML. You can insert HTML. You can edit the text. You can run JavaScript. You can change the dimensions. You can change the typography. So these are all different things that you can edit for your variant. So if you want to test one thing versus another. Now, this is just an example. I wouldn't test my home page because I'm not really selling anything on this specific main page, or am I collecting opt-ins for now? But if you had like a sales page or opt-in page, that's what you'll basically do. And once you click on edit, it'll actually take you to the variants page and sort of take over. And then it'll basically just track the next however many visitors, and it'll test one group versus the next group. So we can actually deploy Google Optimize through Google Tag Manager. So one thing that we just want to make sure that we have set up is our Google Tag Manager. So I'm going to show you basically a Google Tag Manager is just a place where you can centralize and manage all of your different tags. So if you have like 4 or 5 different tags so if you have a pixel from Facebook and you got a pixel from Google Ads, this is a place where you can centralize all of it. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So if I was to click on create an account, then I'll just come here, I added my account name, and then I go down, I select my country, and you can choose whether you want to share data anonymously with Google or not. And then you just name your container where you can put the name of your website, and you can choose like the target platform. So whether it's going to be for use on desktop and mobile web pages, iOS, Android, accelerated mobile pages, and for a server. So I'm just going to use an example here. So example, the United States, and I'm just going to say yes, and then my site, health and fitness tips.net. Then target platform will be for desktop and mobile web pages, and then you click on create. Now after here, you just go ahead and go through their terms and service agreement, and then I'll click on I also accept the data processing terms required by the GDPR, and then you click on yes. Now once we have that created, from here all we really got to do is just, so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, but this is basically the Google Tag Manager. But from here I'm going to click on exit and then click on new tag, and then now all I got to do is just create a new tag. So and then I'm going to name it whatever I want. So in this case I'm just going to name it example, and then I'm going to configure the tag. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to choose the tag type. So in this case I'm going to scroll down to where it says Google Optimize, click on that, and then it's going to ask me for my container ID. Now I get that from here. I go to Google Optimize. So we go back to this page here, and this is where our container ID is here. So I'm just going to highlight this and then copy it. And that's where I'll go ahead and put it in my Optimize container ID section. I'm going to take away all this space here. And then once we do that, we click on where it says triggering, so we can set up a trigger. So in our case, we want to monitor one page versus another, how many visitors are converting versus the next page. So let's click on triggers and then click on all pages. So now we have all pages, and then we click on save. Now that we have that saved, we're going to be adding a new tag through analytics property settings. Now, real quick, before I do that, I just want to show you that if you go to your WordPress dashboard and you have a plugin that says Sitekit by Google, you can also set up Optimize from here. Now, I haven't really gone through everything yet, so that's why I decided not to create a video this way yet, but I just want to bring that to your attention that you can also integrate a lot of different things from Sitekit, including analytics, the search console, page speed insights, Google Optimize, and you can even connect more services like Tag Manager and AdSense. So let's go back and go ahead and create our analytics tag. Now we just go ahead and click on add a new tag, and in this case I'm just going to call it UA Analytics. That way I know. And then we'll choose a tag type to begin, and then I'm just going to click on Universal Analytics, and then we're going to select the settings variable. We want a new variable. So here is where you put your tracking ID from Google Analytics. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab that real quick. So this is my Google Analytics dashboard. And from here, in order to get your tracking ID, you just come down to the left-hand side where it says admin and you click on that. And then you click on where it says property settings. And from here is where you can get your tracking ID. So it should say it right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Then I'm going to go back to Google Tag Manager and I'm going to put this in here, click on paste. And then that's it. We're just going to click on save. And then we're going to rename this variable. Let's see, Google Analytics settings. And I'm going to change this one to, so now we need to add a trigger. So from here, we just go ahead and click on all pages again, and then click on save. So now we have a Google Universal Analytics and we have this tag. So this is what this should look like. Now we have our Google Optimize tag and we're going to deploy it through Tag Manager. And if this all looks good, we can go ahead and click submit. Now we need to configure. So let's go ahead and add a name and we'll just add example health website here. And then the description, so whatever changes you made, like what type of variant that you have. So in this example, I just put change red button to yellow. Once we've done that, if it all looks good, we just click on publish. This is what you should see now. You should see a summary page. Now if you scroll down, you'll see the version changes, you'll see your activity history, well, when the last edits were, the triggers, the variables. Now, what we can do now is we can actually test our experience. So as I showed you earlier, all you really got to do is just come to Google Optimize, go to the main page here, and then click on where it says your container name. So from here, you can actually test the experience. So just click on whichever experience that you want. In our case, we create an example experience. And then all the way to the right here, you click on schedule or start. So once you add your tag to your web page and you want to make sure that's working, that way you're able to make those measurements and data-driven decisions. So just make sure that a Google Tag Manager is installed. And again, you can try using the site kit. They have a help button up here where you can go through their tutorial and see how to go through their process of setting everything up in here. I'm still learning how to do it myself, but you can just basically connect Optimize through their site kit plugin from the WordPress dashboard. And you can find that in there. It's completely free. All right, so yeah, that'll pretty much be it. If you like content like this, then I highly recommend that you check out my website, jonathancoast.net. You'll see it in the description. I talk about everything when it comes to increasing sales and generating more traffic. And also be sure to look at the tools and the resources below. I have some more additional information as well as everything that I covered in this training. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. See you then.